Hi, everyone. I'll start, but Paula and Linda will add after my 2 minutes introduction to the project on education. So this team is led by Linda Woodhead in the UK, Paula Montero in Brazil, and myself in Canada. I don't have any PowerPoint, sorry. With several collaborators. On my part in Canada, I can mention Mathieu Collin, who is a PhD. He's here today, so thank you, Mathieu, for helping me. Other countries could join as well eventually when we identify projects that could be replicated. So how our general question is the following: how do we teach religion in diverse societies? So far, the three teams have met to discuss a different context and reflect on the research project. It has become clear what a challenge it is to make a comparison between our different contexts. Different countries in relation to religious education and non-religion for children and adolescents. Each national regime is historically, culturally, politically, judicially, and religiously distinct, even though they share a history dominated by Christianity. Nevertheless, we were able to establish a basic problematic despite the differences. So these questions are were asked by the team how diversity is changing religious education in public schools in each context, and what impact nuns have on these changes. How should RE be taught in the future? In relation with these research questions, Linda Woodhead and I started interviewing teachers of religious education in our respective contexts. But there is more. During one of the partnership meetings, we got very precious insights, notably from Douglas Easy from Australia. Doug was not sleeping. He was really good. Doug suggested to ask the following question: how is the good citizen imagined in different schools? And we loved it. We are going to try to find out how it works in practice. So potential project, which images of good citizen, of a good students are represented in diverse productions of schools like websites, mission statements, school policy, newsletters, etc. Linda and her PhD student have been researching this for several months. She will certainly talk about this. How do different schools imagine the common ground? Certainly through values. How do religion, non-religion, and values intersect? What are the controversial issues? So I will turn it over to Paula and Linda to complete this presentation.
Hi, everyone. In Brazil, we have to do a lot of work because we don't have many research on this topic. But I think it's a very interesting topic to understand how public school shapes Brazilian morality. To search if this morality is a religious one or not religious one, what is inside of this idea of being teaching values in school. So I think it's a good location to understand this relationship between religion and non-religion. And we are going to start in Brazil with professional associations that form teachers and that design some public material for schools and try to do some interviews with them to understand how it works in Brazil, because I don't know how the system works. Who are those teachers? Which kind of scholarity they have? What they teach and why and how they are selected? All those questions we have to answer. We don't know yet. I would like to add the idea of diversity because. I think that when diversity become a public issue for Brazilian policy, the way in which religion was taught in schools changes a lot and became a big social problem. And because of that, it's an interesting question to understand what the diversity is and which kind of impact diversity make when in this kind of teaching. Diversity is understood religious diversity and non-religious diversity, of course.
If I could just say in relation to the education project, one of the things that we've tried to do is be flexible about the way that we form our team and our questions. And so some groups like the law group and trekking group have formed larger groups of people to brainstorm the question, to brainstorm the methodology, and have tried to do implement and consider implementing the studies they're doing all at once. Others, like the education project, have thought it better to drill down into a few examples and then see how can we move that project outward. I don't think there's any right answer when we're doing this kind of work. It's simply thinking about the specific contexts and applying them. The comparative part is challenging, yet on the law side of things, if I may say, much less challenging. There's probably a much clearer continuity between the countries on the issue of same-sex marriage. So over to you, Linda.
Hello, I'm Linda Woodhead. In the UK, where I'm talking from, values have become really high up on the agenda in schools and very, very visible. And every school publishes its values, and the government also promotes values. So we want to really look at that cross-nationally, and we want to ask which values are being promoted, who decides and how. I mean, maybe we won't have time, but how are they received by the pupils themselves? And why have they become so prominent? And does it have to do with moving from Christian to more diverse and non-religious societies? Thank you, Laurie.
Thanks, Linda. And I think values is a key. It's a key conversation, and of course we have it here, but I don't know that we have the same iteration of it as you're seeing. And I think it will be a really valuable comparative conversation once we get into it. Thanks, Linda. Inger, over to you on migration.